Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Wilson with Bullet Sponge Brews, and I want to thank you for joining me today. Now, we do have a couple updates. For one, we are going to be stirring our mead, and we're going to be taking a gravity reading just to kind of see how it's progressing and see what kind of alcohol content we have produced so far. Now, it's not done. It's still obviously fermenting. There's still bubbles popping up. I just kind of want to get an idea on what we're dealing with. On top of that, you may notice that there is a box here. What's in the box? Well, wanted to open it and show you what we kind of have planned for the future. Remember, kids, always be careful with knives. In the box, we have two more fermenters. I've got plans and I've got ideas on what I want to do with this channel. And starting next week, I will be planning a second fermentation. I'm wanting to do a second fermentation. So if you guys aren't just seeing all the same stuff with just this traditional mead, I wanted to try all kinds of meads. Like I did state before, there are about 27, 28 different types of meads that I want to attempt on this channel, going from all different sorts. I want to try capsicum ales, which are meads that have hot peppers in them. I feel that would be pretty interesting. I also want to try meads with fruits, and eventually, like I did also state before, I do eventually want to kind of journey into potentially trying beers and wines. Now, with these two new jars, it's going to allow me to do another mead. So, like I said, next week we'll be starting another mead. Hopefully, you guys will like what is to come. I don't want to spoil anything yet, but you'll have to come back to see what we got going on. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put these up, and we're going to get to our traditional mead right here. We're going to stir it up, and like I said, we're going to take a gravity reading. So, if you just give me just a couple quick seconds, I'm going to take care of this, and I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Hey guys, thanks for being patient. So, like I said, we're about to pop the top on this. We're going to stir it up a little bit, release a little bit of that CO2, and then we're going to take a gravity reading. Now, once again, everything here has been sanitized. Whenever you are going to introduce anything to your mead, you want to make sure it's sanitized, because obviously things can touch it, they can get on it, bugs, germs, dirt. We don't want to introduce that to our ferment, because that's going to cause issues down the road, potentially cause mold, infections, and we don't want that. We want this to have the best chance possible of succeeding. So, like I said, we've got our little test tube. I forget what this is called. I'm going to figure it out one day. I'm going to remember and I'm going to tell y'all. We've got our baster to put our liquid in here, spoon to mix it up, and we've got our hydrometer. And once again, we're going to take that gravity reading. It's going to give us a number. We're going to do some fancy math, and we're going to figure out what we're working with. So let's go ahead and get this started. Go ahead and put that right there. Now, as you can see, we do have bubbles that are popping up. That is the carbon dioxide that is being created through the fermentation through the yeast consuming sugar. So we're going to go ahead and just give this a stir. It's once again going to make sure that everything's all homogeneous and well taken care of. And when we stop stirring, you see just a whole bunch of carbon dioxide being released. Now, my buddy Corey of Ammo Can Actual, which is a YouTube channel also located here in Missouri, gave me a lot of crap because on my first video, I wasn't able to film putting everything in the bucket to show you guys what was going on. So I wanted to make sure, just because of Corey, that I come in here and I give you guys a good view of what's going on. Also, if you guys are into firearms content and all that stuff, go ahead and go check out Corey and at Ammo Can Actual. They're good guys, and they seem to have a lot of fun while filming firearms stuff. So go give them a shout out, tell them I sent you, and maybe Corey and I can work on a collaboration in the future. All right, and the moment I've all been waiting for. Like I said, we're going to take a gravity reading, and we're going to figure out what we're currently sitting at. Now, also by taking a gravity reading, that's also going to give us an idea on how quickly this is fermenting. We started with a starting gravity of 1.104. Now, for this to run completely dry, or for the yeast to consume all the sugars, it pretty much is going to have to go to 1.000, which is kind of where we want it to. It can go lower than that, but 1.100 is the end goal. So by taking a gravity reading now, that's going to kind of tell us how fast the yeast is consuming the sugar, and it's going to give us an idea, at least kind of, it's going to give us a ballpark on how much longer we have to let this ferment for. So let's go ahead and grab our tube. Make sure all the extra sanitizer is in there. Now, once again, I do also want to point out that the hydrometers are extremely fragile. So whenever you're putting them in there, be gentle, just be very careful. We don't want to break it, because if we break it, then we got to wait for a new one to come in the mail, and then we got to wait to take a gravity reading then, and I'm just too impatient for that. So grab our turkey baster, going to go ahead and suck some up, and we're just going to put that in there. Go ahead and see what we're working with. Probably should have got a bigger turkey baster, because this thing is taking forever to fill up. And as you can see, there's plenty of CO2 still rising to the top. I probably should have done a better job degassing this, but we are floating. All right. Once again, I think I want to put a little bit more in there, just so I can get a better grip on that. Now remember, when you are checking your gravity, as you can see, there's a lot of gas in here. Well, I don't know how well you can see it. Hopefully you can see the bubbles. We definitely want to give that a couple spins to kind of see where we are sitting. And these bubbles just aren't going away. But it looks like we are currently sitting at a gravity of looks like 1.100. So it looks like we have lost 4 points of gravity, which is also telling me that this is not very alcoholic. Go ahead and bring this out. Let's go ahead and actually just verify our parking. See, that's why I wanted to verify it. It looks like there was a lot of CO2 stuck to that. So let's just go ahead and give that a couple more spins, because now I've actually got a reading. Come on, get out of there, CO2. Probably should do a better job of degassing this next time. Looks like we've actually got a gravity reading of 1.084. So let's go ahead and write that down. So it's actually consumed a lot more alcohol than it was initially showing. Come on. Yep, 1.084. All right. So I'm definitely going to do a better job of degassing this entire batch the next time I go to check the gravity. We'll probably check it again in a couple days. So give me just a second. Let's go ahead and seal this back up. And we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break real quick. I'm going to do some math, because unfortunately I am dumb and I suck at basic math. And this isn't basic. This is a little more complicated than I'm used to. I'm going to go grab that calculator, figure this out, and I'll be right back to let you know the final alcohol content well, not the final alcohol content, but the alcohol content that we're currently dealing with. So I'll see you back in a couple minutes. All right, everybody. So I got my little area cleaned up. I got everything sanitized. I have the mead put back in its nice, dark, cool place. And I got the math done. Now, according to the slip of paper that came with my hydrometer, how you figure out your ABV is you take the number that you got with your starting gravity reading, which ours was 1.104. You subtract the final gravity reading, or in this case, the middle gravity reading, of which we got 1.084. You take that and then you divide that by 0.776. Now, there's a lot more complicated math than I am used to, so I had to break out my handy-dandy calculator, and that gives us a total ABV currently of 2.6%, which, granted, is not that spectacular, but when I did the math to see if we run this completely dry, it did say that this has the potential to go to 13.5% ABV, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to hit. So we've got currently a 2.6% ABV mead. Thanks for coming out today. I do appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me while I'm doing this thing. Like I did say, I've got some plans for the way that I'm wanting to take this in the future. Next week, we are going to start a brand new ferment, and then potentially on the first of the month, I'm also looking at picking up potentially 2 more vessels. This way I can have 3 ferments going, and you guys aren't, like I said, watching the same traditional mead content at all times. We're going to be doing 3 different kinds of mead. Hopefully you guys will find that interesting. Hopefully you'll stick around. I do appreciate every single one of you that have tuned into both my YouTube channel and my TikTok. On both my YouTube channel and my TikTok, if you have one or the other, my username is Bullet Sponge Brews. You can find me on both of them. Like I said, I do appreciate everybody that's tuned in. You guys are absolutely amazing. You actually helped me hit 4,600 views roughly in just the first 36 hours. Now, I do understand that 4,600 isn't all that impressive, but to me it is. It's very important, and I want you guys to know that I do appreciate that. That means that there's 4,600 people out there that are currently listening and watching the stuff that I'm doing, and I can't thank you guys enough. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Like I said, I do appreciate you guys coming to see me. I'm going to keep trying to give you guys updates. I do want to come back here in probably a few days and do another gravity reading, see how we're progressing. Unfortunately, with us just losing 20 points of gravity, it still makes it a little hard to guesstimate on how long it's going to take. And unfortunately, I am not as experienced as I would like to be to even begin to make that assumption. Thanks for coming, guys. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.